this edition of RPPV News. The storm cleanup continues. Local councils call out the PM on climate change. And no lights but plenty of cheer this Christmas. Hello, I'm Catie Sharp. Welcome to the latest edition of RPPV News. We're back in the RPPV studio bringing you stories from across Frankston and the Mornington Peninsula. Frankston and the Peninsula are still cleaning up after a devastating storm swept through the region just over a week ago. Most locations have now had power restored, which for some areas, including the hinterland, Mount Martha and Mount Eliza, took almost a week. The storm arrived on the morning of what was our first long weekend out of lockdown. Local businesses had stocked up on extra food and produce to cater for the Melbourne crowds, then in many areas were unable to open at all. Emergency services are still assessing the damage that saw the Hastings SES called to 250 hazard sites over the weekend, while the Frankston crews attended over 500 events. Sorrento SES had 553 call-outs, including 239 fallen trees and 70 reports of property damage. These are the only 3 SES units servicing Frankston and the Peninsula, so please thank them when you see them and consider donating your time or money to these local heroes. With this second major storm in less than 6 months, people are asking how such disastrous outcomes can be prevented and how the community can be better cared for after such an event. Councillor Kerry McCafferty of Seawinds Ward has called for a major overhaul of the Peninsula's electricity grid.
Our region just needs a grid upgrade. It's just prehistoric. I mean, really, we just have constant power outages. You know, we're losing power over the summer period from the tourist season. Now, this is not new. We haven't just suddenly become a tourist destination. You know, this has been a long time happening. And instead of actually addressing the grid issues, they've just lumped a few diesel generators around town.
Meanwhile, reports are coming in about the lengths some community members have gone to help their neighbours. Amelia Hurst reports on the support the local Red Hill business, the Cellar and Pantry, has given their community.
Over the past week, Melbourne and the Mornington Peninsula have experienced damaging winds and storms which have wreaked havoc on the local communities. On the peninsula, wind speeds reached over 120 kilometres per hour, with many trees falling over power lines and severing electricity. However, for residents in Red Hill, they not only lost power but also their water supply. Following the destruction, a local business stepped up to provide for their community.
The Cellar and Pantry, located in Red Hill, opened its doors and offered free ice, firewood, water, charging stations and general essentials to anyone affected. In a post published to Instagram, the owners said they were trying to help all residents as much as possible any way they could.
It was just an instant reaction to help out with what we thought would be the basics that they would need.
With the storm causing long-term damage, the owners acted swiftly and without hesitation.
We initiated getting that generator in pretty quick on the first day because we realised that we just have to be open. We can't close because that doesn't leave the community with anything.
The generosity and compassion shown by the Cellar and Pantry not only provided a lifeline for many, but also proved to be a fulfilling experience.
It's just rewarding to help people at times of need, and it just solidifies your position in the community.
After all, it is in times of hardship that the owners say locals must stand together.
It does come down to local support because the local support the smaller local stores. The local stores give back in without even thinking. Times of need like this, it just happens instantly. We just help.
So, while the work continues to clean up the leftover debris, all residents can do is look out for each other and help out wherever possible. Amelia Hurst for RPPV News.
Thank you, Amelia. From the start of November until the end of next March, Operation Summersafe will see police have a highly visible presence on Victoria's foreshores, from the Great Ocean Road through to the Mornington Peninsula. Residents and visitors to these areas can expect to see police patrolling busy locations, including the beaches, parks, shopping centres and entertainment districts, and nearby public transportation hubs. Patrols will include local police supported by state-based specialist resources, including Mounted Branch Water Police, Public Order Response Team and the Transit Safety Division. Highway patrol officers will target speeding, impaired driving and driver distraction. Patrols will include local police supported by state-based specialist resources, including the Mounted Branch, Water Police, Public Order Response Team and the Transit Safety Division. Highway patrol officers will target speeding, impaired driving and driver distraction. Police are also reminding visitors to respect the communities they are visiting, stating, "We will not tolerate any antisocial behaviour. Respect the community you are in, respect the local residents and most importantly, respect the safety of others around you." As our Prime Minister wings his way home from the Glasgow COP26, councillors from across Melbourne's southeast have called on the Australian federal government to commit to a 2030 emissions reduction target, underpinned by a clear plan to achieve the target. Both Frankston City Council and Mornington Peninsula Shire Council are members of the South East Council's Climate Change Alliance. They say it is essential Australia makes an equitable contribution to global efforts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions in order to limit warming to 1.5 degrees above pre-industrial levels. Apart from the obvious devastating impacts of global warming, Councillor Kerry McCafferty pointed out another side effect of climate change on local people.
One of my primary concerns here is the insurance and the claims and the damages that are just rising so significantly each time we have these issues. We've seen enormous increases in premiums, and that's just going to lead to a growing number of Australian people or people in this community who just don't have insurance, who have inadequate insurance. It's economically, we're staring down the barrel of a disaster there because there's so much risk that we have to mitigate. And councils typically have to pick up the slack there. We have to try and help people in the community who have lost so much, and they don't have the premiums are too hard to manage. People just simply will not be able to afford to insure their homes.
That was Councillor Kerry McCafferty speaking on RPPFM's Peninsula Talks this week. Due to the extensive COVID lockdowns that took place this year, Frankston's annual Christmas Festival of Lights has been cancelled. The festival takes 12 months to plan, and owing to the year's uncertainty, the preparation time has not been available. But have no fear, there are still going to be many ways to celebrate leading up to the big day. There will be Christmas carols, pop-up outdoor cinemas, local markets full of good gift ideas, and of course the jolly man himself is sure to make an appearance or two before he has to go fill his sleigh with goodies. Keep an eye on social media to find out about events which begin in the last week of November. And a local dad is clocking up the miles to raise funds for a charity very close to his heart. Chris Renew for Somerville Local is gearing up to take part in the half marathon event of this year's Nike Melbourne Marathon Festival. Chris is running to raise money for Very Special Kids, a children's charity that provides support services to Victorian families who have a child with a life-threatening condition. In November 2019, Chris and his partner Tess lost their son Reggie to complications stemming from infantile onset Pompe disease at just 2 years of age. Since Reggie's diagnosis, Very Special Kids has been an incredible support for Chris and his family, helping them through their devastating journey. Chris talked to RPP this week about what the support of Very Special Kids has meant to his family.
When Reggie was about a year old, we were told that he probably just had days to live. And we moved from the hospital to Very Special Kids so that the family could be with him. We were able to stay in a parents' accommodation with my mum and dad, who had flown out from the UK. And Very Special Kids basically took care of all the medical side of things, if you like. So administering the medicines and the feeding, so that we were able to really, as parents, concentrate on just spending time with him. Going through that process, somehow Reggie had a bit of a revival, which was fantastic. And I attribute Very Special Kids, the care that they give, a lot to that revival. And we were able to have another 10, 11 months with him. He came out of palliative care and was able to return home. It was really fantastic.
Chris has participated in the Melbourne Marathon Festival since 2018 and raised more than $4,000 to date. This December, he aims to crack the $5,000 mark to help other Victorian families through tough times. If you want to help Chris reach his goal, just go to the Very Special Kids website and give what you can. After the break, we go to Nicola with the coming week's weather report.
There's a quiet revolution happening on the rooftops of Australia. And at Solar Heart, we're proud to be leading the charge. One home, one family, one solar panel at a time, helping smart Aussies make a real difference to the planet, cutting their energy bills and connecting them to their smart energy future. Get smart, get Solar Heart.
RPPV and Bendigo Bank have a long-standing relationship. Without Bendigo Bank, we wouldn't have a transmitter site, we wouldn't have a studio, we wouldn't have an outside broadcast fan, and without them, we can't tell the stories that we think the Bendigo Bank community, our community, needs to hear.
Thanks, Bendigo Bank.
Thanks for your support.
Established in 1988, Progress Signs has been servicing the local community for 30 years. Located on the Mornington Peninsula, they are the #1 destination for all your signage needs, specialising in a variety of signage from vehicles to shop fronts, occasional and corporate events, short-term, long-term and everything in between. If it's signs you need, be it large or small, Progress Signs is the place to call. Available 24/7 at progress-signs.com.au or call the team on 5975 9188. Thinking signs? Think Progress Signs, a station sponsor.
Hello, I'm Nicola and welcome to this week's RPP Mornington Peninsula 7-day weather forecast. Today, we are here in Rye on the shores of Port Phillip Bay. And isn't it so good to be out of lockdown, to be free to travel and mix with family and friends again? Well, last week's spring weather was a mixed bag of sun and rain as we spent time cleaning up after that powerful windstorm that hit us just over a week ago. Let's turn to this week's weather to see what is ahead for all of us. Today, Saturday, the 6th of November, brought us a humid, cloudy morning with showers building in the afternoon. And this brings the likelihood of lightning and thunder later tonight. We should reach a top of 25 and a low of 12. Sunday sees a shower or two continuing. Expect another partly cloudy day with a 60% chance of showers across the peninsula. We can expect a top of 17 and a low of 11. Monday sees mostly cloudy day. We can expect a low of 9 and a high of 17. Tuesday sees the sun out and in between the clouds today. Expect a low of 9 and a high of 18. Wednesday, the 10th of November, sees a more of the same. Sun, clouds and possible showers. Look for a low of 9 and a high of 16. Thursday will remain cloudy with a shower or two throughout the day. Expect to feel a low of 8 and a high of 18. And finally, Friday sees a shower or two continuing. Expect another partly cloudy day with a 70% chance of showers across the peninsula. We should feel a low of 9 and a top of 19. Well, that's all for this week. It's great to be back with Patricia and the crew, being able to bring you once again the weekly Mornington Peninsula weather. Enjoy catching up with your friends and family. Support your local businesses. And remember to continue to be kind, patient and understanding with each other. And until next time, take good care.
And now to our surf guru, Muzz, with the surf report.
Hi, it's Muzz back here with this week's Mornington Peninsula surf report. We got through last weekend, including last Friday, which was rather horrendous with the storm and the wind and the massive increase in swell and all the damage. So pretty much trapped down on the peninsula when everyone was trying to come down. Didn't matter because Sunday when the surf cleaned up that little bit, there was well over 100 people out at Pines Shore, which I reckon is pretty much making it nearly the most crowded surf spot. In Victoria now, for some reason, that's all good. Everyone needed to get back in the water. The swell did die off during the day. This week in front of us, we've got a true springtime pattern now emerging. In the next week, there looks like it's probably going to be 2 days of offshore out of that, and quite a few days of south or southeasterly winds. So it's not going to be fantastic. There's going to be a bit of swell. It's going to be big, but it's not going to be small. So it's going to be sort of on the borderline of going to matter to Port CD. Maybe just too big if you're only a novice. I'd probably avoid those areas this next week. The peak days will be Saturday because it looks like it's going to be offshore for at least part of that day. And then probably Wednesday next week looks like it's going to sort of be around to the north-northwest and mid through next week. That'll be in springtime. The rest of the week, south-southeasterly, beach breaks are going to be sort of that 5 to 6 foot size, maybe even a bit bigger. So there will be little waves around, maybe less than 4 timbers. If you look around, you'll probably get a surf in the Peninsula. There's a couple of banks around that'll hold a bit of size. But we need to surf those out. So have fun, hopefully get in the water. The water is getting warmer, it's over 16 degrees now. So time to pack up the winter suit to get the light over. And I'll see you next week. See ya.
And that's all from our team here at RPP News, serving the community with stories that matter to you. Keep watching and do tell your friends. Stay safe, use the QR codes and get vaccinated if you can. Bringing you the news from coast to coast across Frankston and the Mornington Peninsula, I'm Catie Sharp. See you for the next edition.